Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome everyone. We'll just give everybody a few seconds for you to connect. Be ready, inshallah. Welcome, 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 mashallah. Good that you're all here and on time and ready to go. Excellent, excellent, mashallah. Well, great to have you all here. Welcome back to day 2 of our Story of Nuh alayhi salam. Really great to have you all here, inshallah. We know a few people are just logging in as we speak. So we're just going to give them a couple of more minutes just to sort out their connections. And great to have you all here. Zunaira's here and Sayda's here, Zahra's here, mashallah, and Hajar's here, Ibrahim and Rumaisa and Aisha. So many of you here, mashallah. Really, really brilliant. Suleiman's here and Abdullah's here and Isa's here as well and Sufyan. Great to have you all here, inshallah. What I'd love you to do is just have a look at how you've named yourself, so then we can just make sure that we're able to recognize you. You know, you could add your year group in your name. That would be great as well. You might not be able to fit your school name, but that's okay. But if you can add in your year group, what year you're in, then that would really help us. So just have a look at that, inshallah. The way you do that is have a look at your picture, and over there you've got 3 dots, and you go click that 3 dots and you press rename, and that will allow you to rename yourself, inshallah. Please add your year group there so we know which age group is here and when you're speaking, inshallah. And if you can fit your name of your school in, then that's great. If you can't, no problem, inshallah. That would be perfect. Very good. So welcome everyone, inshallah. We are live also on YouTube. So parents, we are broadcasting live on YouTube. If you wish your child not to be on screen, then please ask them to switch off their camera. Otherwise, we take that as your consent for their participation, and we love for their cameras to be on, because it does make the participation much more impactful and powerful, inshallah. So jazakallah khair. And we're waiting just for a couple of more minutes. But whilst we do that, let's ask you a question. The question is, you had a piece of homework to do, everybody. You had a bit of a homework to do, which was, well, let's ask you what the homework was. You can type it in the chat box. What was the homework for you guys to do? Type it in the chat box what that was that we asked you guys to do. And lots of you put your hand up and said you were going to do it. So any ideas? Yeah, very good. Yep, you're all typing it there, mashallah. Very, very good. Yeah, Mariam said to invite someone, which is brilliant. And Aisha says to read the translation of Surah Nuh, which a lot of you have typed in, as well as Abdullah and Ibrahim and Layla, etc. and so on. That's spot on. So here we go. We're going to ask you, how did you get on with reciting or reading the translation of Surah Nuh? If you did that, raise your virtual hand. So you just go into the section where it says reactions, and you can raise your hand so we can see how many of you managed to complete your assignment or your homework of reading Surah Nuh in the English language. There got to be something wrong with my screen, because at the moment it says only 5 people. That can't be right. It can't be right. I'm sure much more of you must have done it. A few more hands going up. We're up to 7. Anybody else managed to read Surah Nuh? Okay. All right. Well, look, you've got another chance. 7 people have done it so far. However, we're going to lower your hands now. I got that. Thank you, Layla. Yeah, I got that, inshallah. So we're going to lower all your hands. Now, I'm going to ask you, apart from those 7, the rest of you, will you be able to commit to reading Surah Nuh in English for tomorrow's class? Who's going to do that, inshallah? Come, let's have you all raise your virtual hand by tomorrow. By tomorrow. Very good. Raise your virtual hand, your reaction hand, Adam and your sister, I think, is on the screen, to raise your reaction hand so we can see it. We want all of you to raise your hands now so that you can commit to reading Surah Nuh in English. Very, very important, because this is our whole story that we're going to do. And this is where we want to make sure that you understand and you can see how that story pans out in the Quran, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes what's going to happen. So I want a few more hands. I've got quite a few hands, mashallah, but not enough. So I'm looking at Ismail's got there, and Adneen, and Rumaysa, and Asiya, and Abdullah, and Zahra, and Aisha, and Ismail, and Ifra, Safiya. I want all of those hands up, everybody. Please go and make sure that you do that for tomorrow, inshallah. So that's really, really brilliant. Well done to those of you who did it, and well done to those of you who are going to take that on for tomorrow. Mashallah, it will be an amazing thing that you do. So let's get into today's session. So welcome once again, those of you who've just joined us. And thank you for all of you people who have invited somebody new to come to the Quran story time. Thank you for doing that. It's really, really brilliant. And if you're new to the Quran story time, then welcome. It's great to have you here. And we're doing the story of Nuh alayhi salam. Now, if you're worried about missing yesterday, then nothing to worry about, because we're going to recap the story with our Ustadh a little bit, and we're going to take you on a further journey upon the amazing story of Nuh alayhi salam. But before that, I'm going to ask if I can have Ziyad there. Ziyad, are you there?
Yes.
Wa alaikum salam. Ziyad, how are you?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. How are you?
Yeah, very good, Ziyad. Ziyad, great to have you here. Thank you for coming. And Ziyad, we're looking forward to hearing your recitation of the Quran. And you're going to be reading some verses from Surah Hud today. Is that correct?
Yes.
Surah Hud. And they're going to be, you can follow it on your screen, everybody. And we would like you to get your Mus'haf, your Qur'ans out. We're going to Surah Hud, and we're looking at the 25th verse of Surah Hud. So Surah Hud is the 11th chapter of the Quran off the top of my head, but I better double check that. Is that right? Let's have a look. Surah Hud is
yes, that's right.
Yeah, it's the 11th chapter of the Quran, and you want to go to verse number 25, and we're just going to give everybody a few seconds to get your Qur'ans, your Mus'hafs, and have a look. And you want to get to verse number 25, where it says وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا. We're going to start from there, and Ziyad is going to recite some Quran for us, these verses from Surah Hud, verse 25 onwards, inshallah. Those of you on YouTube as well, please do join in and have the verses ready. And Ziyad, we're over to you, inshallah.
Okay, Jazakallah. Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولقد أرسلنا نوحا إلى قومه إني لكم نذير مبين ألا تعبدوا إلا الله إني أخاف عليكم عذاب يوم أليم فقال الملأ الذين كفروا من قومه ما نراك إلا بشرا مثلنا وما نراك اتبعك إلا الذين هم أراذلنا بادي الرأي وما نرى لكم علينا من فضل بل نظنكم كاذبين قال يا قوم أرأيتم إن كنت على بينة من ربي وآتاني رحمة من عنده فعميت عليكم أنلزمكموها وأنتم لها كارهون ويا قوم لا أسألكم عليه مالا إن أجري إلا على الله وما أنا بطارد الذين آمنوا إنهم ملاقو ربهم ولكني أراكم قوما تجهلون ويا قوم من ينصرني من الله إن تردتهم أفلا تذكرون ولا أقول لكم عندي خزائن الله ولا أعلم الغيب ولا أقول إني ملك ولا أقول للذين تزدري أعينكم لن يؤتيهم الله خيرا الله أعلم بما في أنفسهم إني إذا لمن الظالمين قالوا يا نوح قد جادلتنا فأكثرت جدالنا فأتنا بما تعدنا إن كنت من الصادقين قال إنما يأتيكم به الله إن شاء وما أنتم بمعجزين ولا ينفعكم نصحي إن أردت أن أنصح لكم إن كان الله يريد أن يغويكم هو ربكم وإليه ترجعون صدق الله العليم.
MashaAllah. Beautiful, Ziyad. Very, very
Jazakallah.
beautiful. MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair. You have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you with a beautiful voice and excellent recitation, MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair. That was phenomenal. Really well done. Ziyad, it's not your first time that you've recited for us here at Quran Story Time. Thank you for coming back. Tell us a little bit about your journey with the Quran. Where are you now in terms of your practice and memorization?
So I started 2019 and it was basically in lockdown where I started COVID times. And at that time, because school was online, I focused more on Quran because I thought, yeah, this is a time that I can actually accomplish something very big. So I just used the time, put all the effort in, finished in 2 years. And it's been a year now. I finished 2021, September, I think. Yep. And It's been roughly a year, more than a year now. But yeah, now I'm just going mosque every day. It's GCSE as well, but maintaining it, going mosque 3-4 times a week. Just maintaining and keeping up the revision, basically.
Amazing, mashallah. So you completed the Quran in 2 years, and now you're recapping. You're doing your murajah.
Yeah, just keep going over it, and just maybe even getting the translation now sooner or later.
Very good, very good. Well done, Ziyad. And how are you finding it? Obviously, you got GCSEs as well. How are you finding managing?
It's hard to balance at first, but over these few months, I've slowly started to balance and utilize both. So I'm fine with it now. So I just utilize the time and put time in and create my own timetable. Now I can just go along with that timetable till GCSEs are over.
Yeah, very good. And if there was one thing that you would advise all of these young reciters here who have joined today, anything you would advise them?
Just work hard and put the effort in, because especially when it comes to Quran, you have opportunities. Always take an opportunity and don't miss a chance when you have one, and take risks in a good way.
Yeah, very cool. Well done, Ziyad. Well done. Well done for reciting and for completing the Quran. MashaAllah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you of a person who is the people of the Quran, Ahlul Quran. We look forward to seeing and hearing from you in the future. Jazakallah khair. Thank you for coming. Okay, excellent. Well done. And that was Ziyad, mashallah. Amazing recitation there. And alhamdulillah, he completed the Quran in 2 years, mashallah. So there's something that you can all have a look at. And even if you can't complete it in 2 years, but have a plan around the Quran. And not just about memorization, like Ziyad said, he's also looking at how he can learn and understand the meaning of the Quran, because the Quran was sent with a message. And that is what we're going to get onto today, inshallah. We have our favorite Ustadh Masood is here. Assalamu alaikum, Ustadh.
Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. MashaAllah. Wonderful
Great
to
to
be
have
here
you here,
again.
Ustadh.
Jazakallah
Jazakallah khair.
khair.
Any reflections on Ziyad and what he just shared with us? That was
Wonderful.
amazing.
MashaAllah. I was looking at him and I was thinking, SubhanAllah, what can you do? When Allah gives you tawfiq, then you can do everything. And I would like to echo what you just said and what Ziyad said. Spend time with Quran, memorizing, learning its meaning and its message, like you are, MashaAllah, showing us in this story time. Nuh alayhi salam came with a message. So we want to follow in those footsteps, inshallah.
Brilliant. Well, look, that's a great segment into today's session that we're going to do, which is the second part of the story of Nuh alayhi salam. So, inshallah, over to you, Ustadh. Jazakallah.
Jazakallah khair. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Salatu wassalamu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Alhamdulillah. So we are going to very quickly recap, and I need people to tell me what did they cover. I don't know if they can they do audio or not, or is it just in the
They
chat?
can do audio, and if they raise their virtual hand, I can have them come off mute, or if they wish, they can type.
Fine.
So both options are open.
We want just 3 points to recap because it can take, otherwise it could take very long.
Yeah.
So
We'll go to
point
Rumaisa
1.
first.
Good. Bismillah.
Rumaisa, you accept the prompt. Rumaisa, come off mute. No, she's gone. Okay. I'm going to come to Ibrahim Chowdhury, but you're going to have to change your virtual face. But I'm going to come to you in a second. And let's go to Jumaima. Jumaima?
After 10 generations of Adam, after Adam alayhi salam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Nuh alayhi salam.
Nuh alayhi salam comes after 10 generations after Adam alayhi salam. All right. Give me something for the story of Nuh alayhi salam so far. People, you got 2 more points. You got to use them carefully.
Okay, Uwais, please, and Talha, come off mute. Uwais, and you're still on mute. Accept the prompt. Okay, we'll go over to Aisha then. Aisha Shiraz, please come off mute.
C'est pas grave, pourquoi vous énervez?
So they made the idols for because they were remembering the people who died and they wanted to remember them.
Very good. So the idols.
Right, people, let's focus on the, let me give you a focus question, yeah? What was the message of Nuh alayhi salam in a nutshell? What did he invite people to? What did he call to?
Okay, let's hear from Nashima. Accept the prompt. To unmute.
Invited people to the truth.
And which was what? What's the truth that he invited to?
He invited people to worship Allah.
Good, excellent. Worship Allah alone. Brilliant. And last question to recap. How long did he do that for? Roughly.
You can type that in the chat box. So Maryam, Abdullah, Hassan, Layla all say 950 years.
Okay, so approximately, which means roughly 950 years. Imagine how old you would be if you were 950 years old, yeah? All right, so that's where, I'm guessing that's where we reached yesterday. And now, does anybody know what happens after he has given the message for that long and people say, no, we're not going to listen to you? Who can tell us what happened after that? Briefly, quickly, within maybe a word or 2 words, 3 words.
Okay, let's go to Hafsa. Hafsa, accept the prompt.
A flood.
A flood. So I've got something here that looks like a flood, if you can see that. Yep. Okay, anybody else? What else?
Let's go to Hannah.
There was they made an ark.
Now we're starting to put this in some sort of order. Brilliant. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as you said, mashallah, Allah ta'ala told Nuh alayhi salam, build an ark. Does anybody know what the people thought about that around Nuh alayhi salam?
Let's ask Jumaima again. Jumaima, come off mute. Okay, Jumaima's not there. Let's ask Isa and Sophia.
They let animals inside of the boat.
Before that,
But people thought they were. People thought it was human.
sorry, can you say that again? I couldn't hear that. People.
I couldn't hear that either. So let's go to Yahya. Yahya, what did the people say?
They said to him that they started making fun of him and saying that there's no point and that there won't be a flood.
Yes, exactly. They said there's no water here. They started making fun of Nuh alayhi salam, yeah? And what did Allah Ta'ala say to that? Does anybody know?
Let's ask Jumaima again this time. Jumaima, accept the prompt to unmute third time. Come on, Jumaima, you can do it. What's the answer? It's still on mute. Let's go to Ayub. Ayub, accept the prompt to unmute. Go ahead, Ayub, we can hear you.
Allah said that it's gonna rain a lot and it's gonna flood the whole entire world.
Okay, that's fine. But in reply to the question, when they made fun of Nuh alayhi salam, Allah Ta'ala said, you do not need to worry. You are under our protection. Allah is going to protect you. You just carry on with your job. Yeah, let's look at some of the ayat in Surah Hud. Same surah, 38 to 39, maybe 40. Let's see how much time we have. 38. So they're mocking in 38. Look at this. And when our command came, which means the flood, and the oven burst with water, we said to Nuh alayhi salam, take into the ark a pair from every species along with your family. So let's go back to our picture. Allah Ta'ala has now told the Prophet the Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, that you need to take a pair of animals. Now, I didn't make the pairs because it would have taken too long. So let's just try to make this ark a bit bigger. Yeah, we're going to make this ark really big now. And we're going to start putting some animals in it. Okay. So I'm going to put an elephant next to it because I can't put it inside it. Which animal should I take next? Anyone? You got a choice here. You got 3 more animals.
You can type in the chat. You can type in the chat which animal should go next. Ibrahim said the cow. Cow next,
Okay.
please.
So the cow's next. Okay. Who's going in next? That's number 2.
Then they've asked for the goat. The goat to go next.
Goat. So they love their steak. They love their chops. And I'm guessing they like their chicken the least, eh?
Well,
So
or maybe they want it to last the longest, so they want it to.
Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah. Kept the best for last. So yes, Allah Ta'ala is saying now you take each animal in pairs. And then let's go to the next ayah. Let's have a look. Bismillah. Here we go. Allah Ta'ala then says, except those against whom the decree to drown has already been passed, and those who believe. But none believed with him except for a few people. So Allah Ta'ala is saying, you prepare for the flood, it's going to come. Yep. You take your animals, and you should know that only a few people will be Muslim with you on the ark. The rest of the people will be drowned. And here is, if we make that a bit bigger, this is a wave. Does anybody know how big the waves were from the Quran? Anybody know?
Let's ask Hannah.
Any idea?
Let's ask Hannah. Hannah, you come off mute.
Ginormous.
Ginormous. As big as a what? Does the Quran say? Anyone?
Let's see from Adam. I think Adam's sister. Adam's sister has a suggestion. Not sure?
10 kg.
Not quite. So people in the chat have mentioned that it was as tall as a mountain. Many have
Yes, exactly. Kal jibal. In Quran, Allah mentions kal jibal. Kal jibal, which means as high as a mountain. Now, I can't really make the mountain big enough, to be honest, because we will run out of space. But imagine a huge mountain. That's how big the waves were. Okay? And then imagine now this picture that I'm about to show you. This is what happened then. This is what happened on the earth. Imagine that. Imagine that happening around you. How would you feel about that, people? One word. How would you feel about that happening in your world today?
You can type it in the chat box. Type in what you would think. How would you feel if all of your buildings were underwater? Okay, let me read out some of the thoughts. So Abdullah said terrified. Shanzia said drowned. Yumna says astonished. Nashima says worried. Amira says awkward. Aya says scared. Ibrahim says petrified.
Okay.
And Shoaib says despondent.
Okay, I just mentioned a few things. Yes, exactly how the people felt that didn't believe in Nuh alayhi salam. Yep. And according to some tafsir, it mentions that this was the whole earth underwater, more or less, except for the people who believed in Nuh alayhi salam and who were on the ark. Yeah? All right. Now I'm going to try something. Let's see if this works. We're going to listen to a thunderstorm now, if this works, inshallah. Let's see if this works. Bismillah. Let's go to that link. Let me try going back to it, if I've still got it. Where's the link gone? Just bear with us. Let's see if we can get there. Bismillah. But we don't want to hear the advert, obviously, so we're going to skip that.
Apparently, an average user of CleanMy Mac X clears out 66 gigabytes of junk per year. So
Right. If Ustadh Sohail can tell me if you can actually hear.
Yeah, we can hear that.
Okay. So that was just to give us an idea of what you just explained in words, that it was terrifying. People were worried, they were being drowned, etc. That was the punishment that Allah sent. But Allah sends this punishment to people after there is no reason for them not to believe. That's the key here. That Nuh alayhi salam, he did his job of conveying the message. That's the lesson for us, many lessons, that we should also try and convey the message of the truth. Like you said, worship Allah alone. We worship Allah alone, we invite people to worship Allah alone. And we do that all our lives. And then inshallah, Allah will save us, especially in the akhirah, the hereafter, and in this dunya, from any harm. Does anybody know what happened after the flood? And we'll end with that.
Okay, you can raise your virtual hand. Let's go to Maryam. Go ahead, Maryam. Come off mute. Go ahead, speak louder, we can hear you.
The boat was on the sea for 6 months.
Okay, and then what happened after that?
Let's ask Zahra. Zahra, accept the prompt. There you go.
Nuh alayhi salam called his son onto the boat.
Yeah, and what did his son say?
I will climb to the top of the mountain.
And what happened?
A wave came between Nuh alayhi salam and the boy, and he drowned.
Yes, he drowned. Unfortunately, yes, because Allah Ta'ala is telling us that no matter who you are, even if you are the son of a prophet or a messenger, you have to do the right thing yourself. You cannot rely on your mum, your dad, your brother. You have to be a true believer, and then you will be successful. And then finally, which or where did the ark end up? Last question. Where did it end up in the end? Anybody?
You can type the answer in the chat box. Where did the ark end up? So Ramesa says on an island. Any other answers? Type it in the chat box. Ibrahim says on a hill. Aisha says on a hill. Shanzay says Judai Mountain. And Hafsa says Mount Judai as well.
Yes, Mount Judai. Judi. That's exactly what the Quran says, that it ended up in a mountain, and Allah saved the believers, like He always saves the true believers, until the last day from the adhab, especially the adhab of the akhirah, the punishment of the hereafter. So if we want to, inshallah, be saved from any calamity, any azab, any punishment, any disaster, then inshallah we follow the message of Nuh alayhi salam and Hud alayhi salam and Salih and Lut and Ibrahim and Musa and Isa and who? Last messenger, who is it?
Type it in the chat. Who's the last prophet?
Sallallahu alayhi wasallam.
Isa wrote Musa, not quite. That's right. Abdullah, Rumaysa, Suleiman. All right. The final prophet is the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu
alaihi wasallam. So if we want to be the people who Allah is pleased with, inshallah, we ask Allah to make us from amongst those people. We will follow Allah's message and messenger. His message is Quran. His messenger is Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. And with that, we will end, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair.
Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair, Ustadh. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with all of us. And alhamdulillah, that's a very great session there. So Jazakallah khair. And tomorrow's session will conclude the story of Nuh alayhi salam. We'll talk about what happened after the flood and what happened to the people and some of the experiences. So that's going to be an amazing part, the third part of the story of Nuh alayhi salam. So Jazakallah khair. to Ustadh Masood for coming and delivering that session, inshallah. And I hope you've been paying attention, because we're now going to do a few questions and do our quiz. So are you all ready? Give me a wave if you're ready. We're all ready. Okay, perfect. Good, good, good. Those of you on YouTube also, we hope you're ready as well. We know there's people watching on YouTube, so you can get to participate in the questions, inshallah. And I'm going to start sharing them with you all now. So here comes the first question. Ready, everybody? The first question is, for how many years did Nuh alayhi salam patiently call his people to Islam? Was it for A, 40 years, B, 50 years, C, 100 years, or D, 950 years? For how many years did Nuh alayhi salam patiently call his people? This is just fill in the answers, Sufyan. There's no questions around this part, or no answers. You just come and share the answer. So it is A, 40 years, B, 50 years, C, 100 years, or D, 950 years. And most of you answered. I'm going to give you another 5 seconds to quickly answer. Those of you on YouTube, you can type your response in the chat box. Type in A, B, C, or D. A for 40 years, B for 50 years, C for 100 years, and D for 950 years. And now let's share the results. And mashallah, pretty much all of you got the right answer. 92%, 950 years is the correct answer. 950 years, Nuh alayhi salam called his people to Islam. Amazing. All right, brilliant. Let's look at question number 2. Question number 2, let's have a look at this one. Which of the following are the reactions of the people of Nuh alayhi salam when he called them? Did they run away from him? A. B. Put their fingers in their ears. C. Cover their heads with their cloths. Or D. All of the above. Which ones did they do? Did they A. Run away from him? B. Put their fingers in their ears. C. Cover their heads with their cloths. Or D. Did they run away? And those of you on YouTube, A, B, C, or D, and well done, Hatika and Sabiha, for getting the right answer on YouTube for the last question. A, B, C, or D. I'll give you another 2 or 3 seconds quickly to put your answer in. And let's share the results. And let's see what you said. So most of you, or quite a lot of you, said putting their fingers in their ears, which is true. But the more correct answer is that they did all of these things, which 60% of you were right. So the answer is D. They ran away from him, they put their fingers in their ears, and they covered their heads with their cloths. They did all of these things to Nuh alayhi salam. So well done, those 60% who got the right answer. Let's have a look at question number 3 now. Get ready, everybody. Here comes question number 3. How many people believed in the Prophet Nuh alayhi salam after his long mission? How many people believed in him? Was it 80? Was it B, 800? Was it C, 8,000? Or D, was it 80,000? So how many people believed in the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Nuh alayhi salam, after his long mission of dawah? Was it A, 80 people, B, 800 people, C, 8,000 people, or D, 80,000? You can answer on YouTube. Well done, Sabiha, for getting the answer on YouTube for the previous question correct. A, B, C, or D? Let's have a look at what you said. Here's the answers. Let me share the results. And most of you wrote the right answer, which is A, 80. Nuh alayhi salam gave dawah for 950 years, and only 80 people or so accepted his message. SubhanAllah, very patient. So 80 was the correct answer. Well done to you all for getting that right answer. Let's have a look at question number 4. Here comes question number 4. What did Allah command the Prophet Nuh alayhi salam to build in the middle of the desert? Was it a large house, a camel pen, a large ship, an ark, or a bridge? What did Nuh alayhi salam get ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to build in the middle of the desert? Was it A, a large house, B, a camel pen, C, a large ark, or D, a bridge? Those of you on YouTube, you can answer A, B, C, or D to answer that question. Well done, Sabiha, for getting the question right on YouTube for the last answer. Here we go. So I think most of you answered, and mashallah, amazing. All 100, everybody got the right answer. A large ship. Excellent. Well done to you all. First time I think we've had 100% everybody get the right answer in the class. Phenomenal. Really, really brilliant. Well done, mashallah. So that's the correct answer. He built an ark. He built a ship in the middle of the desert. Here comes our final question for today. What was the reaction of Nuh alayhi salam when people built, when Nuh alayhi salam's people, when he built the ark? Were they mocking him and being sarcastic? Were they in amazement of him? Did they praise him and say, well done? Or were they really, really interested in what he was doing? Which one? A, B, C, or D? A, they were mocking and joking about him and being sarcastic. B, they were amazed. C, they praised him and said, well done. Or D, they were really interested and fascinated about what he was doing. Same for you guys on YouTube. Have a look at putting A, B, C, or D. And I think most of you answered, so let's share the results. And mashallah, 96% of you were correct. It was that they were mocking and being sarcastic with him. They were being rude and joking about him. So well done to all of you for getting those right answers. And all of the answers you did today, mashallah, really, really brilliant. Now, I have a question for you. I want you to type in the chat box, what is your homework that you've got to do between now and tomorrow's session? Let's see if you remember it. You have 2 things to do, which we asked you to do yesterday. Many of you did it. We're giving you another chance to do it again. So type in the chat box. So yeah, Mariam's written, invite one person, invite a people, good. And Shanzay says to read the translation of Surah Nuh. Surah Nuh is the translation. We've asked you to read the translation of Surah Nuh. So please, everybody, ask your mom and dad. And if you're too young to be able to read it, ask your parents to read it for you. Before you go to bed, ask them to read to you Surah Nuh in English so you can understand the story of Nuh alayhi salam. So when we come tomorrow, you can understand the story and teach it to us, inshallah. So look, everybody, thank you for coming and thank you for inviting a new friend to come to the lesson today. And those of you who are new, then welcome. Thank you for coming. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And we've got a special announcement about our future program tomorrow. So we're going to mention a few things tomorrow and we're going to do a special program in Ramadan. So get ready for that for all of you, inshallah. But tomorrow is the final session. So we see you all at 6:30. And before you go, please come off mute and say salams. Over to you guys.
Bye-bye.
Assalamu
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum. Bye.